Hello everyone. Today I'm going to discuss one of the newest economic pattern, emerging economic pattern in the field of economic geography that is called knowledge economy. Hello, I am Dr. Supratim Karmakar, Assistant Professor, Department of Geography, School of Basic and Applied Sciences, Adamas University, welcoming all to this fruitful lecture. So, knowledge economy. It is quite contemporary word for us and for the students also. First of all, we need to clear the very basic concept of economy and sectors of economy. I'm sure that all the students are quite familiar with the word economic sectors. So, what is a sector or sector of economy? A sector is an area of economy in which businesses share the same or related business activity, product, or services. Sectors represent a large grouping of companies with similar business activity, such as the extraction of natural resources and agriculture. So this is called a sector. And for any country, we can divide the sectors in so many divisions. Like dividing an economy into different sectors helps economists to analyze the economic activity within those sectors. And as a result, the sector analysis provides an indication of whether the economy is expanding, whether it is growing, or if some of the areas of the economic activity is experiencing some sort of contraction. Because as we know, our financial market or the market of productivity is very much dynamic. Okay, so it can show progress in sometimes, or it can show some regressiveness in some sort of time. For example, as we know about inflation, like in the time of inflation, we always know that economy shows some sort of contraction. And when these economies show contraction, that means all the sectors, almost all the sectors of economy, some way or the other gets affected. So does knowledge economy. So whenever we are talking about economic expansion or economic contraction, we need to have a very good idea about that which sector of economy we are talking about. Even if we are talking about the entire economy, we need to have a very clear idea of different sectors of economy. Sectors are used to categorize the economic activity. Okay, uh, according to their consumer groups and the business people who are involved. Not only business people, any kind of producers who are producing similar kind of things to it. So we can see that there are 4 or 5 major sectors which are very familiar to our students. These are primary sector, secondary sector, tertiary sector, quaternary sector, and quinary sector. Okay, primary sector is companies or the workers or the producers which are engaged directly with the natural resources, which are directly utilizing those natural resources. Those are called primary activities. So, what can be the perfect example of primary activity? For primary activities, the perfect examples can be agricultural work like farming, mining, fishing, or something collecting mm, honey or some wood products. These can be called as primary activity. Now, secondary sector. Secondary sector companies produce goods, invented products in the primary sector. And including the manufacturing sectors. Suppose, for example, mining. Mining is a primary sector because in case of mining, we can see that directly the natural resources, mining products, ores like iron ore, crude petroleum, these things are being collected from the mines. So this is mining. And as it is being produced by directly utilizing the natural resources, so mining is one of the major primary sector activity. But when we are just collecting the iron ore and taking to the manufacturing industry, and on the basis of that, we are establishing iron and steel industries. Then that iron and steel industry becomes secondary sector. Look, what happens here? Mining is producing the iron ore. So it is the production of the primary sector, taking that thing to the secondary sector and producing steel out of it. Engineering industry can be a very good example of secondary sector of economy. Okay. Now, tertiary sector. Tertiary sector mainly deals with the business and transportation. It is very, very important. For any sort of production, we need to transport the produced materials in primary and secondary sectors. Students already know that transport network is very important factor for any sort of economic production. Marketability, market distribution is totally dependent on the transport network system. So if we want to make the products of primary and secondary sectors marketable, sellable, we need to send them to the markets, and that gap, that bridging between the production center and the market is being done by the transport network. So the transport sector comes under the tertiary sector, and the business also. It is a part of tertiary sector. Now we are going to talk about here, as we are going to discuss about the knowledge economy, we want to focus on the quaternary and the quinary sector. What is quaternary sector and what is quinary sector? So whenever we are talking about quaternary sector, actually we are talking about the economy which is based on knowledge. Okay, here the intellect of human being are being directly used for any sort of economic activity. You know, human intellect, and how we can produce human intellect, how human intellect can be sharpened with the use of knowledge. So this is the quaternary sector. Okay, this is the quaternary sector where we can use the knowledge of human being, and we can actually deal with the economy. So this is called quaternary sector of economy. So quaternary sector of economy is the economy which is based on knowledge based activities. It involves the creation, management and distribution of information and knowledge. Just here what we are doing when somebody teaches, we are actually producing the knowledge and we are distributing it. So the quaternary sector includes education, government decision making activities, IT, information technology, which is very, very important nowadays, research and development, also entertainment. So these are very proper examples of quaternary sector. One thing, consultation activities, computer services, you know, computer services, information communication technology, ITC. So these are very, very important part of quaternary sector, and quaternary sector serves as a very, very important part of any economic activity of any country. So this is quaternary economy. And whenever we are going to talk about the knowledge economy, we are actually going to talk about this quaternary sector. And the total concept of knowledge economy is actually based on this quaternary sector. Okay. Now we can have a quite vivid idea about the quaternary sector and the knowledge economy. Here you can see that there is a brief presentation on knowledge economy for the better understanding of the topic. What is knowledge economy? Whenever we are discussing any topic, the first thing that we should know is the definition of that particular topic. The knowledge economy is focused on the essential importance of human capital in the 21st century economy, the rapid expansion of knowledge, and increasing reliance on computerization, big data analytics, and automation are changing the economy of the developed world. So, one that is more dependent on intellectual capital and skills and less dependent on production process. So, this is what knowledge economy is all about. You can see knowledge economy is very much focused on the human capital, the use of human capital, how human beings can be capital. What is human capital? Human capital is a formation process that refers to adding a stock of human capital over time with increasing experience and skilled human beings. Human capital, human being as a resource. Knowledge economy, we can see, as I was talking about, in primary sector, we see that mainly we are dependent on the natural resources. In the secondary sector, we are dependent on the resources which are produced in primary sector. But in knowledge economy, human being itself plays the role of the resource. Human being itself is a resource in knowledge economy which needs to be utilized. So experienced and skilled people are the human capital. It is the process of acquiring and increasing the number of skilled and experienced people. It is essential. It is very, very essential for the development of an economy. Okay, so that human capital formation is very important for the purpose of knowledge economy, and how we can deal with that human capital creation, like people who are having sound health, good amount of education, and required amount of job training that will bring as a summation of efficiency. Efficient human being is human capital. Human capital includes assets like education, training, intelligence, skill, health, and other things like, there's some subjective things also, not only education, training, and intelligence, but something other like loyalty, punctuality, discipline towards the institution in which they are working. So these are all integral part of human capital. And for the formation of knowledge economy, we need to bring that human capital. Now you can see we are relying more and more computerization. You know, especially in India, we can see there is a huge digital drive is going on. We are going digital in each and every sphere. In each and every sphere, we are getting more and more digitization, digital India. The drive is. So whenever we're talking about some digital thing, it is computerization. Computerization is going on, and computerization has brought a revolution in the knowledge economy. Okay, so computerization is one of the major important thing that is in knowledge economy. Okay, now the next thing what we are seeing, that is data analytics. What is this? This is one of the key issues of knowledge economy. Big data analytics is the process of extracting valuable insights from large and complex data set using various methods and tools. You know, like for decision making, for any kind of performance, any kind of innovation, we need to collect large data, large number of data. And on the basis of that data set, big data set means, suppose when we want to know, uh, for example, few years back, when we are combating with COVID, we need large database on a country level for the health issues that people are going through. So you can imagine the data sets were large because they are involving the entire population of India, and each and every country is dealing with their own data sets. So these are big data. So we need to culminate, we need to process the data in certain way that we can reach to a proper decision whether we need to make a vaccine and for whom we have to make, how many we need to make, whom to deliver, how to deliver, which our target consumers. Okay, so big data analytics, it poses some significant challenges in, like, the analytic system, it brings a revolution to it. Okay, and we can see that it enhances the customer experience and satisfaction. Like it is optimizing the operations and processes, increasing revenue, profitability, and the research and innovation, it is being just fastened miles with the help of this big data analytics. And big data analytics can help discover new markets for the products, to reduce the costs and the risks, because it helps us to predict marketability or sellability of any sort of product. So this is actually helping the knowledge economy, because we know when there is some economic activity, profit maximization, profitability will be there. So knowledge economy is very much based on this big data analytics. Now, the next part, we are having one simple word that is called automation. What is automation? Automation means when we are doing some process with the help of machineries, by analyzing data from the IT systems that enable companies to make process transparent on a very efficient manner. It is called automation. Okay, automatically, when this happens without much human intervention, automation. These all are changing the nature, the face of economy. Because we know the primary sector, the secondary sector, even the tertiary sector of economy is highly dependent on, you know, human force, human labor, human intellect. But in case of knowledge economy, we can see that knowledge economy is highly based on automation, computerization. So these are the basic key in which we can see knowledge economy is quite different from the other sectors of economy. Okay, it is more dependent on the intellectual capital. It is more dependent on the intellectual capital, skills, and less dependent on the human production process. Okay, so this is knowledge economy. Now we can move to the origin. The term knowledge economy was popularized by famed business management consultant Peter Drucker, first in his 1966 book, The Effective Executive, and then further in his 1969 book, The Age of Discontinuity. Drucker was well ahead of his time and emphasis on knowledge skills. So Peter Drucker was the person who brings the word knowledge economy to us. And as you can see, today we are talking about knowledge economy, but he was he told the word, he coined the term in 1966, which is he's quite ahead of his time. He was an Australian American management consultant, one of the leading educator, author, and you know, like his writings contributed to the philosophical and practical formulations of management theory. He was a leader to the development of management education, management by objectives. So, if we look that Drucker said this word far before, and Drucker in 1959 he coined another term, that is knowledge worker, which is very important. Like when we hear the word worker, we always start thinking about the physical labor. It is a very general notion that the moment we hear the term worker, we go for the word like physical labor. But Drucker said not only the labor who are working in the factory with their physical force, they are not only the workers, but the people who are educating others, who are doing some research, they are actually knowledge worker. They are working through their knowledge. And that is why from that he introduced another thing, another concept of lifelong learning, because knowledge is something which can be gained and which can be distributed at any point of time in someone's life. It does not actually need any kind of particular time. Knowledge economy, because human mind can work at any age, at any situation. So Drucker rightly said that lifelong learning can make the knowledge workers a permanent stakeholder of this knowledge economy. Now, coming to the basic features of the knowledge economy. What are the basic features? The knowledge economy, which is a primary economy among developed nations, is an economy dependent on human capital and its intangible assets, such as proprietary technology. Now, this is the first basic feature of knowledge economy. It is in developed nations, means if we look at Canada, Australia, United States of America, or any other European countries, which are developed nations, majority majority of their population are engaged in this type of knowledge economy based works, okay, and which is totally dependent on the educational attainment, the efficiency of the human beings who are engaged in this particular economic sector. And intangible assets, this word needs to be underlined and demands a special attention. Intangible assets. We have assets like our house, money, land. So these are assets which you can see, which you can touch, you can measure physically. But human intellect, human knowledge is something which is intangible. You cannot touch it. You can share it, but it cannot be measured or it cannot be sensed by your sense organs. So that is why it is called intangible assets, such as proprietary technology. Second one, the knowledge economy has placed the IT or ICT, information communication technology industries, at the forefront of overall economic growth. Take example of India. Today's youth are highly engaged in these IT fields or IT sectors. Today's employment, if we look the today's scenario of employment in any urban uh, locale or any Indian city, metropolitan cities, we can see that today's generation, today's young people are highly engaged in IT sectors. Cities like Bengaluru, the entire economy of that particular city is largely dependent on IT sector. The great Silicon Valley, as we know that the hub of IT, Indian Silicon Valley is situated, we say that Bangalore. If we look, the entire city's economy runs on the basis of that IT sector. All the major companies relating to IT, like Tata Consultancy Services, for example, they have their headquarters in Bengaluru. And the multinational companies, the MNCs, which are doing so many outsourcing from like the foreign countries, they are actually based on these IT sectors. So we can see that it is coming in the forefront of any country's economic development. 20 years back, the situation is not like that. Especially if we take the example of India, 20 years back, we are highly dependent on the sectors like education or government sectors. But now the situation is changing. IT or information communication technology, ICT industries are growing very fast, creating so many employment opportunities. That is why today's youth are choosing it. Third, skill sets that include data analysis, creating and working with financial models, and the ability to innovate are highly sought after in the modern economy. This information technology based economy or this knowledge based economy is based on big data, as I discussed earlier. So data analysis is one of the most important and primary demand, primary eligibility for this kind of sectors, because people need to deal with large number of data, and data analysis is the key skill that is being needed to be a part of this knowledge economy, creating and working with financial models, because IT sector tries to predict the future. It is very much future oriented, that the technologies which gonna be profitable in future. You know, technologies keep on changing. While, for example, we are using mobile phones, you can see that each and almost each and every month, your mobile gets a notification of updates, software updates, and your mobile gets that updates and becomes more and more efficient in so many fields. Okay, so this updation is actually coming as a result in the innovation of IT sectors. So they need to forecast, or they need to understand that what kind of facilities are going to be created for the future, which will generate more financial gain to that particular mobile set or to that particular machine. So innovation, and for the prediction of those creation and work with these things, we need to have proper financial models based on which those technologies will run, or our future innovation will be done keeping a pace with those financial models. They need to understand the basic intricacies of those financial models. The ability to innovate are highly sought after in the modern economy. Innovation. Innovation is the key to this kind of knowledge economy because it is dealing with IT, it is dealing with modern machineries. So they need to be updated, upgraded continuously. Today, the technology we are using, after 6 months, it is getting obsoleted. Take the example of mobile phone. 10 years before or 15 years before, no one can imagine about a touch screen. But nowadays, all the mobiles you cannot find, it's very difficult to find any mobile set without that touch screen. Okay, so you can understand that how fast the technology is growing, in which pace it is growing. It is unbelievable. It is growing on a very fast pace. So we need to understand that innovation and dynamism is the very basic key features of this knowledge economy. Now, what are the skill requirements for the knowledge economy? The knowledge economy is characterized by the presence of higher percentage of highly skilled employees whose jobs require special knowledge or skills. Okay, in the past, we can see here is a difference between regular economic activity and knowledge economy. We know that in the primary or secondary sector, that is highly dependent on the physical labor of human being. Those economic activities are highly dependent on the physical force, the physical power. Okay, now we can see here we cannot depend on the physical labor. We need to have the intellectual capability. Software skills, for example, we need to know. So, unlike in the past, where the economy depended heavily on unskilled labor jobs and consisted primarily of producing physical goods, the modern economy is comprised more of services, industries, and jobs that require thinking and analysis of data. Here, our mind plays all the game. Here, our mind and our intellect is being used for the production of high-end technology, technological innovation. These jobs in knowledge economy requires deep thinking, deep learning and deep thinking. And again, analysis of data. So that data requirement, analysis of data requirement is gaining more and more priority. We can see now that is why data science as a subject is very much flourishing nowadays because of this knowledge economy. The modern economy is also known as the post-industrial economy or the information economy. Information technology and information economy. Right now, we are living in the age of information. Right now, we are living in an age of information. We are flooded with information. Go to the Google with a click, type something, and with a click, you will be getting millions, thousands, millions of results. That is called big data. That is called actually the importance of information. Without that amount of information, we cannot move forward in the field of knowledge economy, because gaining knowledge is highly dependent on these information. A person who is well informed is very much welcome in the field of knowledge economy. So it is very important. In the new knowledge economy, the most valuable assets that a company owns are often intangible assets. Nowadays, intangible assets. I have already discussed that there was a point of time when we used to think the asset means big buildings, huge land, huge piece of lands, you know, very valuable furnitures or something. These are not at all required or considered as asset in information economy or in knowledge economy. What we have, what are the assets we are going to have now? Patents, copyright, or proprietary software or processes. Patent copyright means when someone invents something like innovation. If one of our future students is going to innovate some mobile technology, so that person will have the copyright over that. No one can replicate that technological know-how without his permission. So that is called patents or copyrights or proprietary software. You know, like whoever develops a software, they have the copyright of it. So because it is a knowledge-based economy, intellectual property rights are very important. Like patents, copyright, these are collectively called intellectual property rights, IPR. It is a very important concept. So that IPR should be there. Otherwise, people will steal each other's idea. And in the field of research, it is a big no. It cannot be done. So in the field of knowledge economy, that IPR means having patents, copyright, proprietary software processes are very important components. It is in contrast to previous economic epochs, the agrarian economy, where the land are usually the primary asset, industrial economy, where the manufacturing plants and equipments are key asset for more businesses. As I told, it is written here, that is, it is a huge shift from the traditional economy. It is a huge, huge shift from the traditional economy of primary sector or secondary sector. In the industrial economy, we used to see that manufacturing plants, huge manufacturing plants, these and equipments, machineries, these are considered to be the assets. But no, here patents, copyrights, these are the assets. And those are mostly intangible. So now is a very interesting thing that how knowledge economy looks like. If I'm saying that everything is intangible, so is this totally abstract? There is no look. The knowledge economy both supports and is fueled by innovation, research, rapid technological advancement. We know that innovation is the key, and for innovation you need to research. You need constant research. Technological advancement is the key. The overwhelming majority of workers in the knowledge economy are extremely computer literate and skilled at creating business and financial models. Computer literacy. Here in this slide, this is the most important word, or this is the most important key aspect of knowledge economy. Computer literacy. We know books are the very primary source of gaining knowledge. But nowadays, in modern day, we know along with the books, books will be there. These are very important. But along with the books, along with the tangible pen and paper based education, computer is gaining huge popularity among the students, among the researcher. Why? Because it can give the enormous potential to a student or a researcher to broaden up his or her knowledge, and it become it becomes the medium through which you can actually communicate with each other. Research collaborations can be done with the help of this computer literacy or computer technology. So without having the proper knowledge of computers, it is very, very difficult to survive in this epoch of knowledge economy. So the knowledge economy looks like having a very good computer-based knowledge. This is the demand of knowledge economy. Knowledge economy looks like a person who is well equipped with computer-based skills, skilled at creating business and financial models. We know nowadays there is one concept that is popping up day by day, that is startups. Startup companies. Startup companies means having a business idea and starting own businesses. This startup, this is nothing but this creating business. Knowledge economy is driving the students or driving the workers towards self-dependency or independence. Okay, because when some of the worker is developing his or her own business, own startup, that makes that person independent. They are not dependent on any other people, and growing their own financial models. Okay, growing their own financial model. They can make profit on their own terms. They don't need to follow, the very basic rules of the market economy. They can change their profit margins by creating their own business models. They can decide how much they want to gain, how much they want to profit from this part. So this is how the knowledge economy looks like. There is an increasing emphasis on data collection and analysis and the development of algorithms and artificial intelligence. It is very, very important. Big data I have discussed, but now we are very much dependent on artificial intelligence. So what is this artificial intelligence all about? Yes. What is artificial intelligence? If you want to find it, then you can see that what is AI. Okay. Now, artificial intelligence means the intelligence is not only confined in the human mind only. That intelligence can make machines like human beings. It is a science of making machines that can think like humans. It involves studying the human brain and analyzing the cognitive process to develop its own intelligent software and systems. It is called AI or artificial intelligence. The machine will learn the pattern of human thinking. We need to give some patterns of human thinking. How we are going to give the patterns? As we know, human beings have some thinking pattern. Like if someone asks about your address of your home, the same thinking pattern goes on each and every time when someone asks you your address, and you give the same response to each and everyone. Okay, we also do that. That means when someone asks what is your address, that your address word is common to us, and whenever our mind or our ear listens to that word, our nerves send the signal to the brain that you need to tell your address, because your address, these two words are there in the question. So now you can understand this is a particular thinking pattern. So that thinking pattern, we can make an algorithm out of it and we can put it in the machine. So whenever they will listen that what is your address, the machine will give the answer on behalf of you, on behalf of the human being, that this is the address. So this artificial intelligence is very important in case of knowledge economy, because whenever we are going for any kind of big data analysis, it is quite impossible to do all the analysis by the human being alone. With the help of artificial intelligence, it becomes quite easy. If the pattern of data arrangement, the derivations can be given, the machine can do the data analysis by its own. Now, what are the central focal areas of knowledge economy? Harvard Business School professor Michael Porter, the creator of Porter's five forces model for business analysis, argues that in today's economy, the ability of a business to develop and maintain a competitive advantage in the marketplace is more and more dependent on its ability to quickly adapt to an ever-changing world by using continual innovation in its processes and business systems. So Professor Porter is saying that the dynamic nature of knowledge economy is the key factor. If one business person or one business house or company, they they want to run their business for a very long time, for a sufficient notable amount of time, they need to understand the need of the hour and change itself very quickly in the ever-changing world. And the change will be very quick, rapid, and continuous. Very rapid and continuous change. We need to change the business model with the changing scenario of business, changing financial scenario of the world. Otherwise, it won't be feasible for the companies, business houses to be a part of this knowledge economy. Research and development projects absorb an increasing percentage of a company's resources. And when one company wants to do continuous innovation, continuous change, they need a very strong research and development section that is called R&D, research and development section. They need to give continuous effort in research and to predict that what kind of changes are coming in and how to adapt how to adopt with those changes. These are very, very important thing. How to adapt with those kind of changes. So research and development sector of any company will take a key responsibility in that part. There is a back and forth between research centers, universities, and think tanks and the businesses that utilize their discoveries. So, what will be those places which are taking the leading role or the leadership in front? Universities, research centers, think tanks. Those are the organizations which is getting the highest priority in knowledge economy. Universities, where the high-end technologies are being used for research and innovation. The cream of the educational list are a part of universities. So, and the research centers also. Think tanks. Think tank means the group of high-end intellectual people who devoted themselves in research and innovation. Those people need to be there for as a central focal group or the major stakeholder of this knowledge economy. Without them, without the various departments of universities, research centers, knowledge economy cannot run. In turn, the emphasis on knowledge and innovation in the business world spurs further and more rapid growth in information and data analysis and manipulation in the academic world. It is very important. Academia, data analysis we know, business we know, academic field, academia is getting the highest priority in the knowledge economy because skill, literacy, education, these are the basic requirements of knowledge economy. So for a to get a best output from knowledge economy, we need to give emphasis on the universities, the academic fields. In India, India has made like tremendous strides in its economic and social development in the past 2 decades in terms of knowledge economy. We can see that the growth is impressive. We can see in from 1990s in 2000s, the growth, according to World Bank, in terms of the outcome through knowledge economy is 8.2% for a report based on a report of World Bank. That the economic stability, the macroeconomic stability is now for India, especially I'm talking about, it's now based on these knowledge-based economy based companies. So you could understand that with the focus on the academic field, on the academia, it is a very flourishing field and it can give you a very, very rapid growth. So what are the jobs? Who are going to be involved in the knowledge economy? What kind of jobs? We know primary sector, we know secondary sector, we know tertiary sector, that what kind of jobs are involved. But in knowledge economy is considered as a primary driver of massive expansion of STEM jobs. What is the full form of STEM? Science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. Career within the STEM fields like computer science, engineering, chemistry, biology. These subjects will have more and more growing opportunity in the field of knowledge economy. So in one word, which we say STEM jobs, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics and management also. Okay, so they're having high level, top level executive positions, career consultancy, teaching. These are the major sectors of job in knowledge economy. That kind of jobs people can expect from the domain of knowledge economy. Okay, and we can see also that India is making high progress in the field of knowledge economy. Day by day, our youngsters are getting more involved in the IT professions, which is an indication that knowledge economy is growing in our country also. Being a developing country, India is not a totally developed country. It is a developing country, but though it is a developing country, it is getting so much from knowledge economy. Clusters. Another characteristic of the knowledge economy is the development of clusters of industries that are centered in a particular geographic area. So, being a teacher of geography, I want to focus on that whether this knowledge economy have some spatial imprint also. Examples include the concentration of automotive engineering business in Germany, computer technology in Silicon Valley in the United States, the ravishing growth of electronic industry in South Korea. So we can have the clusters of IT industries. Like for example, in Kolkata, we can see there are some parts which is called Salt Lake, Sector 5. These are the clusters where all the IT companies or information technology, information communication technology, ICT companies are situated. Silicon Valley is one of the major examples from the world in the United States. Bangalore, for example. Hyderabad is now coming up as a major IT hub in India. Bangalore is actually one of the most pronounced IT hub in India. So, what happened in Bangalore? Most of the IT companies gathered there, flocked there. Okay, most of the IT companies flocked there. And when in a very short spatial expansion, most of the same sort of business or company flock together, it builds one industrial cluster. So these can be called as knowledge economy based clusters. Okay, so spatially it is also very impactful because we can see that the IT sector are mainly clusters in some special locations, small locations. Companies in Bangalore like Wipro, Infosys, uh, TCS, IBM, Oracle, Cognizant, Capgemini. So you can see the whole lot of companies, they are finding their place, found their place rather in Bangalore. They are located in a place which is called Electronic City, Whitefield or Outer Ring Road. Okay, uh, Mysore Road. These are the places where you can find like lots and lots of IT industries. They are having their head offices or the office. Okay, so these are the example of the special cluster of knowledge economy. Okay, you can understand the cluster. So knowledge economy in action. We can see the growth and impact of knowledge economy in virtually any sector of the economy that we look at. For example, the knowledge economy's effect on traditional manufacturing, such as automotive industry, can be seen on the Reliance automation. The use of just-in-time inventory management system and push the development of driverless cars. So it's very interesting that knowledge economy is not right now, knowledge economy is not just a separate sector from the other sectors. It is making some, what we say, vertical connection with all other sectors of economy. Like automotive industry is from secondary sector. Yes, it is from secondary sector. And knowledge economy is from quaternary sector. But now they're integrated together because the impact of knowledge economy or that impact of IT or the impact of automation is there, trickling down to the secondary sector of economy. So we can see the driverless car, it is bringing a revolution. It is bringing a revolution to the automotive industry. But what it is actually nothing but a vertical integration between or the impact of knowledge economy on the secondary sector. So you can see knowledge economy can make impact on every sector of economy. At present, we cannot say that knowledge economy is very different from all other sectors of economy. It can make a huge impact. Rather, it is already making a huge impact on the other sectors of economy. The healthcare industry is both a key contributor to the knowledge economy and the primary beneficiary of it. Health sector, more rapid research and development of new medicines, the increased use of 3D and robotic surgical aids, and the explosion of telemedicine services are all a reflection of this knowledge economy. Beautiful example. In the time of COVID, we have seen that how knowledge economy can bring change to the healthcare industry. Telemedicine services. In the time of COVID, the pandemic, the lockdown was there. People cannot move out from their houses and actually go to the doctors for their regular illness, for their regular medicinal purposes. So what they do something called, telephonic conversations and telemedicine services, where you can order the medicine online and it will be delivered at the door of your house. So this is the telemedicine service. And the doctor actually make his diagnosis through that telecommunication. You don't need to physically move to the doctor. Okay. Now, for the surgery purposes, we can see robotic surgical aids are there. Robotic surgical aids means all the surgical works will be done with the help of machines, not by the human labor. So the healthcare industry is getting revolutionized by the knowledge economy. Continuous research and development are going on. New medicines, new surgical techniques, which can be helpful and which can implement this knowledge economy more and more. So from that perspective, healthcare industry is a very major beneficiary from this knowledge economy. The ITC, Information and Communication Technology industry, which is focused on the integration of communication services and the information technology and on information infrastructure, is a prime example of knowledge economy. The ICT industry aims to increase the efficient use of information by connecting data storage facility such as computer servers, that which means transmitting information such as cell phones. We have now data repositories. We have data banks from where general people with a click of a mouse, they can get the information what they want in a very efficient manner and with almost no time. Now we can understand that what is the power of knowledge economy, and the growth of information technology is one of the major outcomes in terms of this development of knowledge based economy. Information technology expenditures measured as a percentage of revenue by companies that made up 50% since the turn of the century, reflecting the central importance of IT to business profitability. The highest growth rates in IT/ICT industries are currently seen in companies engaged in creation of new technologies such as AI and robotics. The companies which are making artificial intelligence, which are doing research and development on robotics, they are getting the maximum profit in their business. It is being seen day by day. So as the companies are getting more and more a part of knowledge economy, the profitability is increasing day by day. That we need to understand. This is the action, this is the impact of knowledge economy. Okay, the profitability is getting more and more. Even the profitability goes up to 50% increase with the use of this kind of information technology, AI and robotics. Because AI and robotics make the work process much faster. So the production level goes at the highest peak. Now, as we're talking about knowledge economy, and we have said such dynamic and progressive things, there must be some challenges. Each and every field have their own challenges. So what are those challenges? The transition from an industrial economy to a knowledge economy is not without its challenges. Yes, there must be some challenges. There are currently many workers who lack the requisite skill sets to function and to be optimally productive in a knowledge economy. Yes, this is the first challenge, that knowledge economy is an upcoming economic field. It is not a traditional field. Traditionally, people are not accustomed with information technology. So that is why we can see that one entire generation of workers, they are not actually highly literate with computer knowledge. They're not highly skilled with AI or robotics. So that is why we are facing a dearth, a lack of proper skilled persons for running this kind of companies. In order to facilitate the transition, companies need to develop more extensive on the job training programs, along with supporting employees in obtaining further education and training outside of the workplace, such as subsidizing employees attending university classes and learning new skills. So from the first challenge, here comes the second challenge. If I need to run the company and I don't have the skill level, so the companies are responsible for the creation of the opportunity to get educated their laborers or their workers. They need to give them the facility where the employees can go to any college or any university and take up the classes from the professors, from the teachers, from the faculties. They need to give them that opportunity. They need to give them that provision to make them upgrade and skilled. Otherwise, it is impossible if we just only look at the new breed of people to come and join the company. It will take a very long time. And as we have learned that in knowledge economy, the process is continuous. The process is dynamic. We don't have the time that we will stop our production for 6 months. We even don't have the time to stop the upgradation of the technology for 7 days. So the companies need to make that facility, to give that facilities to its employees. In addition, universities must be aware of the most valuable skills in the marketplace so that they can offer the best possible education for students to prepare their STEM careers, the university curriculums for the upcoming breed. It is very important that industries give them that kind of education which will be proper to make them industry ready, which will equip them to go for this knowledge economy based work. So change in curriculum, change in syllabus is very much needed. Even the teaching skills need to be upgraded. So these things are very, very important. These are the core challenges we need to know. These are the challenges because without overcoming these kind of challenges, we cannot create or we cannot take the ravishing opportunities of knowledge-based economy. The rapid growth we need to take, we need to build up that pace. Now, we can see there's a very good index that is called Global Knowledge Index. Okay, this is showing that most of the developed countries of North America and Europe, they are getting most of the global knowledge which is needed for knowledge economy. It is very important. The map is showing the spatial distribution. Here you can see the United States of America, all the East European and West European countries, Australia, some part of South America, they are getting, they are sharing the most percentage share of the knowledge base, which is required for knowledge based economy, knowledge economy, which the workers need. And we can see the global distribution is quite uneven. For India, we can see we need some more advancement, some more progress. We are not on the top class. We are in between the lowest class and the highest class. We are on in between, half of the way. We need to grow more for the betterment in the knowledge-based economy. So we can see the rankings of the World Bank. We can see that Denmark is ranking at the highest position, followed by Sweden, Finland, Netherlands, Norway, Canada. India is not at all in a very good position. It is ranked 100. So we have a long way to go. Okay. For in India, we can see that the global knowledge economy is the 21st century. India's development policy challenges will require to use the knowledge more effectively. Not only for knowledge economy and the implication of knowledge economy for the productivity of agriculture, industry, and services. All the other sectors will be benefited with that growth of knowledge economy, especially for India. If we can, implement the policies of knowledge economy, and that will reduce the poverty, that will reduce the problem of unemployment. India has this kind of problems, this kind of economic hindrances, and if India needs to overcome all these things, so the ranking should be more higher, and the universities, research centers, they need to take up more and more efficient footsteps, policies. Okay. This global knowledge index represent the important addition to the global repository of the knowledge on development, providing diverse and reliable data that can help the countries or the decision makers to understand and respond to related transformation of the challenges. The progress in ICT, the technical and vocational education training, pre-university education, higher education, research development and innovation. These are the key parameters to know about the global knowledge index. These are very important. Education, especially education and lifelong learning. As we have discussed earlier, that concept of lifelong learning, as Professor Drucker rightly marked, that lifelong learning is very much needed for knowledge-based economy or the knowledge economy. So then only we can actually make advancement of in each and every parameters that are mentioned here. And the global knowledge index will be like for especially for the countries, developing countries like India, the ranking in global knowledge index will be much more higher, and it will help to reduce its economic and social regressiveness. Okay, so with that, I want to stop here about the knowledge economy. And I think as a student of 21st century in India, whatever may be our field of study, geography, history, biological sciences, mathematical sciences, statistics, whatever, even in the literatures, in the upcoming days, we can say that the implication of artificial intelligence and machine learning, automation, will take a leading position. And the entire global economy will be dependent on this knowledge-based economy. So we need to know what is the need of the hour. And we have to be very much equipped and skillful with the computer literacy and data analysis. Thank you.